Hello, this is Scry Mind bringing you another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is going to be a pretty high level 1v1 game between Cash and Foggy, semi-final game in the Gera Cup 7. And I believe Cash is going to be on the name Tiger, which is a very strong and aggressive sounding name, kind of like the golfer who used to be tearing it up. And his opponent Foggy, I suppose, is under the account name SK Hot. Now, these players are very strong players. It's going to be an Elf-Orc matchup on Echo Isles. The Orc will be spawning at the top right. The Orc will, and the Elf will be spawning at the left spawn. So notice the Elf is going to start off with Ancient War Creeping, sort of standard on this map. And the Orc is going to be also doing some standard stuff in this matchup. This metagame is sort of not a lot has changed as far as I can tell, at least from this game. Even since Grubby and Moon were still at their peaks in this game, which means that the Elf is going to go for a Demon Hunter into Mass Talons for Cyclone, and the Orc is sort of going to add some Spirit Walkers to Disenchant, Raiders, and a Torn Chieftain. So for Shockwave. And so yeah, there's going to be a slight variation. I believe it was sort of a spur of the moment, sort of context decision, how this game plays out. I think the Elf is going to try to get a little cute with his second hero choice and try to be really aggressive, but I don't think it pays off quite as well as he would have hoped. But so again, the Elf is going to do the Ancient War Creeping here. He's probably also, they both have over 300 average AP in this game, which I find remarkable. They must be also eating sandwiches and doing their taxes, I assume, at this point also. So notice that Red actually let that Ancient War steal one of his kills. Sort of a big mistake. Which you would hope wouldn't be happening if you got such high APM, but he must be, like I say, he's probably doing his taxes and eating a sandwich also, so kind of can understand it. If you have 3 hands doing, 300 actions in a minute, you must be a little bit distracted. So. But in all seriousness, Blue just went and crept out his green for the item. He got a good Blade Master item, the Gloves of Haste, with 15% extra attack speed, and he lucked out in the marketplace, had another one available, so he got plus 30% attack speed at this point in the game. That Gloves of Haste is going to be pretty cheap to buy. And notice that Red got a Parrot to Vitality. He had to creep another Knoll here to get level 2. Normally, if you creep that camp correctly, you're going to have level 2. So Blue's going to run in here and try to snipe this Moonwell. He's going to make Red cancel it several times. Red is going to manage not to lose it, though, which is going to be good. He's going to get a ton of damage on this Blade Master. He could have maybe got us around if he brought some Wisp in there or something. I would have, Blue probably would have reacted quickly, but it was a little risky for Blue to do that, but it sort of paid off there. He got Red to cancel that Moonwell a lot, which is going to cost him a lot of resources. And he did take a lot of damage, but he's got salves to heal up, so he's pretty much fine on that front. And he's going to get to the shop first and sell the Ring of Protection, pick up a Circlet and a Boot. So now he is getting quite a bit of Imba items here on this. He's pretty much got an ideal setup for his Blade Master. He doesn't actually have crit yet since he's level 1, but he takes quick, so he's utilizing this Grunt to Creepjack. And this was a really risky camp for the Elf to try. Maybe didn't think the Orc was going to continue harassing, but he ended up getting both of his units ensnared, Troll Berserker and Archer, and losing them, so the Orc was able to take advantage of the Creepjack, and so that was really bad news for the Elf. So far, the Orc is pretty much ahead here. He's got You notice he's got way better items set up. The elf does have a Parrot to Vitality, which is decent. It's a pretty good item from creeping the Merc camp there, but giving him 150 hit points. Though to really take advantage, he's going to have to watch using the Moonwells while he's holding that item. And now notice he picked up a Naga Sea Witch at the tavern here while he was defending his base. Red was trying to wall off his base with the Ancient Wonders, and Blue ran in and canceled it with his army. And again, he's not going to take too much damage since Red only has a Demon Hunter left at this point, and he doesn't have boots. And so Red went ahead and grabbed a Naga Sea Witch, and he tried to cut off, and he ran to the shop and he grabbed a Staff of Teleportation and boots. He tried to intercept this Blade Master. He did a really good job, actually, of intercepting him and blocking him with the Wisp. He didn't get the detonate off, but he really was trying to tie that Blade Master up, and he wasn't quite able to do it, mostly because the Naga has to have boots of speed just to have like any chance of catching a Blade Master, and I'm pretty sure Naga with boots is only fast, whereas a Blade Master with boots is very fast. So yeah, advantage Blade Master there. He was able to get away. Ever since that patch nerfed the Naga move speed, which I personally think was a little bit much to nerf the Naga that much. She was pretty strong of a hero at Tier 2 and even at Tier 1, because dual Naga, I believe, was sort of a viable strategy in 2v2, which sounds crazy right now. These days, that wouldn't really be possible unless you could get boots on both the Nagas, and even in that situation, that's going to be 500 gold to get 2 pairs of boots, which is a lot of resources just to make them, you know, sort of okay as a first hero or something like that. So this is a period where Blue sort of has the advantage. He's got a bigger army, and Red's having to take up to Tier 3 to get Cyclone. Again, without Cyclone, he's not going to want to engage with his army. Normally, the strategy for Elf would be to get a Beastmaster second and do sort of some burrow harassment right now, but having lost his Archer and Berserker, and also again having tried to get that kill with a Naga on the Blade Master, was pretty creative and decently executed, but again, I think long term the Naga is going to be a vulnerability, sort of a liability for Red, since he had to go down and buy a boost just to make that possible. You notice now he actually he went over here and crept the Wizard with just his Demon Hunter and his Naga for the item, and he got a Claws +9, which is pretty strong. If the Orc had got that, it would have been really bad news for him. But he was actually able to save his heroes there, which again, pretty good micro. Looked really bad. Blue only had 1 Raider, so if you had 2 Raiders there, that would have pretty much been a good game to one of those heroes. But anyway, he didn't. He managed to save him. And so now he's going to have Tier 3, and the Orc really doesn't want to push in his main right now because he's only got a level 2 Torn Chieftain. He really wants level 3 there. He's going to pick up a Berserker, which a Berserker is pretty good. He's got piercing damage, really high DPS. And his armor type is medium, so he's not actually going to be taking, like a Grunt would be taking, extra damage from the dots. Magic damage, the Berserker is going to be not taking the extra damage there. So, and he's got a pretty good amount of hit points, so pretty good pickup from Blue, as opposed to, say, maybe, you know, spending that gold for more Grunts. You really don't want to make too many Grunts against dots. Notice he's only got the 2. He's kept those alive all game. He wants to get level 3 on that Torn Chieftain, and for level 2 Shockwave, and so he knows he's actually picked up a healing scroll from the merchant shop here, and he got a I don't know if he bought or he got that creeping. He got a Wand of Lightning Shield, which is a really good item, and again the Greater Heal Potion also really good. So His Torn Chieftain is set up pretty well. Lightning Shield is very strong actually against dots. The problem though with going for Adept Shaman is they don't have the magic resistance that the Spirit Walkers do, so you're still going to need Spirit Walkers if you go for Shamans most of the time, unless you do sort of Bat Riders with Adept Shaman, which is, I feel like it's a decent strategy against this, though, you know, maybe you still maybe need some Spirit Walkers a lot of times because they can just Cyclone the Shaman to some degree, or just Mana Burn them or something like that. So and again, red doesn't have Beastmaster, so he sort of doesn't have his less piercing summons coming out. So, but anyway, blue went ahead and actually picked up another healing potion, and he got a potion of invulnerability, which is going to make his Blade Master immune to, you know, all spells and damage, but specifically is going to keep him in battle. He's going to be able to avoid Cyclone and everything, which is going to really help him keep his DPS on the field when he wants to use it, and also save him in certain circumstances. So really good that he got that, and he's denying the healing scrolls to red. Red got, I think red's ended up going to get one healing scroll, but blue, you know, he got two of them, and the healing scroll is going to be very good with all these units and heroes, sort of just as a hard counter to Shockwave, or not a hard counter, but sort of just a way to counter it, because level 2 Shockwave can pretty much wreck dots if they don't have somewhere to heal in battle. And so I noticed blue is throwing this expansion up. That was sort of made possible because red, you know, sort of gave up map control. With a Beastmaster, it might have been a little different. He could have been more aggressive pushing the burrows to keep blue from creeping quite as quickly while he was teching up, but again, it didn't exactly work out. And the Naga's not as great at pushing buildings, so was not going to be able to push those burrows. And, you know, like I say, is going to be more of a target late game than the Beastmaster would have been due to the being an intelligence hero and everything like that. So this is going to be sort of an all-in moment for red. He's got this expansion going, or blue's got the expansion going, and red is behind already in terms of army size, which is bad. And yeah, so now all blue really has to do in this battle is just pull even, honestly, as long as he can keep his heroes alive and everything. I noticed the Naga immediately getting focused down. She tried to staff out of there, but Ensnare going to cancel that. And maybe should have went ahead and used the Staff of Preservation on the hero. Look at all that APM. Boom. Units going down. Cyclone going off. Spirit Link. Lightning Shield item. Really good to get the item there. Not having to have the Adept Shaman's upgrade and everything. So, yeah, this looks to be going pretty well for not red, but blue. He immediately got that Naga kill, and all he really has to do is hold even here, and he should be ahead because the expansion is going. You know, red's not going to be able to rebuild quite as easily. Blue has a ton of resources here with all these, with all this APM. You would think the macro might be even red is about 700 gold going right now. So I know this is a big battle. It's been going on for you know, maybe a minute or so. But you know, hey, this is 300 APM average, 500 max. They should be playing like 4 games of Warcraft 3, or at least 3 at the very least. He's been playing 3 with that kind of APM. So anyway, you notice that blue is pretty much winning here. You know, red is down to just a few dots. His Demon Hunter is in the red, 100 hit points. So yeah, this battle looks to be now the Naga is going to show back up, and she is going to get past the staff, or actually the Tinker got past the staff, pop the Demon Hunter back, and the Demon Hunter is going to immediately return this battle with full hit points thanks to the Moonwell. So that was, you know, that must be that clearly was a lot of micro, really quick getting that hero back, and macro. And so now, just with that full hit point Demon Hunter, sort of changed up turned the tides there. But you notice the Torn Chieftain had a greater healing potion, which keeps him keeps him looking good with hit points. Notice he's quickly back down to half hit points though, so that's, you know, Demon Hunter is very strong at level 3, plus 14 damage, and he's throwing out, you know, level 2 mana burns, I think, I assume he got level 2 mana burn. He maybe he got level 2 evasion, I'm not actually sure, but at any rate, the Orc is actually going to retreat, and really good move here because his heroes and stuff are at half hit points, needs mana on the Tauren, and yeah, salves and clarities are going to be great. He's got tons of gold to utilize items, though. Again, with some healing and mana potions, he is going to be pretty much golden here. The elf is going to go get some healing scroll action, and yeah, this is sort of the last ditch push here. I'd say the Orc is going to have to make a pretty big mistake to lose this battle enough to lose the game, because again, this expansion has been running for so long, and again, you know, that shockwave, he had clarities and he got 2 mana potions. Now mana potions only cost 200 gold, healing scrolls 250, so and the healing scroll is pretty much going to be used to cancel out the shockwave. So again, blue is sort of getting the advantage in terms of cost efficiency there, and plus he's got the expansion, so he can spare, you know, tons of, you know, he could use tons of gold to get items and not really be hurt by it. Whereas red does not have an expansion. He pretty much has to have a dominating win in this battle to sort of make up for that fact, just to have the chance to take this expansion out, which is what he's going to have to do here. So again, notice if he had some Quill Beasts here, he gets some extra damage in on those Spellbreakers a little bit, and some tanking a little bit. He could have been maybe better. I don't know. I don't know if that would have made the difference or not, but again, the Orc was just able to overpower him, and red is probably, you know, he's probably went ahead and started the next game with all the APM that he's got, because it was clear that he lost that one. And the GG comes out from the elf player, and again, he gets the well played also. Pretty good game. The Orc did a lot of things right. The elf did a couple of things wrong, but overall, pretty strong performance by both. There was some really good micro moves there on Red's part to save his heroes when he got creep jacked at his natural. I thought he was definitely gonna lose at least one hero there, but he managed to get them both out with some clever item passing and a staff. So well done, sir, well done. And the Orc, of course, took advantage of the items a little bit better. I think that might have made the difference. That and sort of the Naga's vulnerability. The Naga move speed really has to be mitigated with Boots' speed in most situations, especially with the Blade Master running around. If you don't have Boots, you know, he's just going to be able to tee off on that Naga, and it's not going to take long to, even with Frost Arrow, you would think Frost Arrow is going to be enough, but since the Blade Master can windwalk and hit and then windwalk again to avoid the arrows and avoid the sort of build up of having all that debuff slow damage from Frost Arrow, it can be, you know, Naga just doesn't have that many hit points as opposed to, say, a Beastmaster or, you know, a Demon Hunter or any other hero. So really strong, the Blade Master with all those items. Very strong against the Naga or any hero, but the Naga specifically. So I think it was sort of a spur of the moment decision to try to get that Blade Master kill, which could have been crucial if he would have pulled it off. He just needed maybe a few more hits on that hero, and he could have potentially got a kill on the Blade Master, and that probably would have made a really big difference in terms of how the rest of the game progressed, because that hero was level 2, and then the elf would have had a little bit more map control, and he maybe could have been more aggressive and stuff like that. So, and then the Orc maybe wouldn't have got his expansion as quickly. You know, you never really know how it goes, but how the game would have gone differently if things would have gone differently. So, but we can take a look at the resources here. Blue lost actually 1,600 gold to upkeep, where red didn't lose any. So that was, that actually made the game. It actually made the game even in terms of gold income, just from a number standpoint. Because if you subtract that 1,600 from 11,000 and compare it to 10,100 and 11,400, you're gonna actually see that red had more gold come in. In terms of mining, I guess that doesn't take into account potential creeping and item selling, everything else. So I get gold from creeping. So and yeah, I do think the orc crept more, if I remember correctly. So I guess the resources weren't quite even, but they weren't quite as bad as you might have thought with that expansion going. Because just if you subtract the gold loss from upkeep from having the bigger army, that makes it a little bit more even. Notice one of the big things was all the hero kills, 4 hero kills. Now, many of those hero kills were at the end, so maybe only 2 of them really took place. The Naga and I guess maybe only one of them I can think of actually happened before the game was sort of decided. In terms of hero kills, but losing that Naga right off the bat was a pretty big deal in that battle. Probably it might have made quite a bit of difference if that Naga was able to survive and get in more frost arrows and more damage, and not level the opponent's heroes as much and everything. So pretty good game, pretty entertaining. Hopefully you got something out of it, informative. And had a good time with, just watching it. All that APM, I mean, some of you probably were just salivating, watching all those micro moves and macro and the Demon Hunter porting and teleporting, and it's like, man, it's like Nightcrawler out there. If any of you are comic book nerds or fans of the X-Men movies. So, this is Scrymine signing out.